There was a boy named Ethan, smart, creative, different, but none of that mattered to him because Ethan had built his entire identity from the people's reaction. If people praised him, he felt alive. If people ignored him, he felt invisible. If someone criticized him, destroyed him, every decision became a question. What will they think? Not what do I want? He checked his phone 200 times a day. He replied conversation at night. Even in room full of people, he felt completely alone because he had abandoned the one voice that mattered most, his own. Why we become addicted to validation? Nobody is born needing constant approval. We learn it sometimes from parents who only showed love when we succeed, sometimes from schools that reward obedience over authentically, sometimes for heartbreak, sometimes from social media. Slowly, the brain connects approval with survival. Validation becomes emotional oxygen, and without realization, it you become addicted not to people, to the feeling of being accepted. That's why rejection hurts so deeply. It's not disagreement. To the injured mind, rejection feels like death. So people think themselves, filter themselves, batteries themselves, all to avoid disapproval. But here's the truth. The more validation you chase, the less receptive you become because people can feel desperation, and desperation always destroys power. Part 3. The night everything changed. One night, Ethan sat alone in his apartment, phone in hand. He had posted something online earlier that day, something personal, something real, but it did not get attention, not flood of likes, no press, no approval, and suddenly he felt worthless. That terrified him because for the first time he realized a few strangers on a screen had more control over his emotional than he did. He started at his reflection in the dark window, and a question hit him like lightning. If nobody clapped for me, would I still know how I am? Silence, because deep down he did not know. That was the moment his awakening began. But for the most powerful, people do not need permission. Look at the people who changed history. They were criticized, mocked, rejected, misunderstood, but they moved anyway. Because real confidence is not everyone likes me. Real confidence is I will be okay even if they do not. That change everything. The moment you stop needing permission, you become dangerous. You speak more honestly, you create more freely, you walk differently, you stop beginning to belong. And ironically, that's when people respect you most because authentically he gravity. People are drawn to those who no longer chase approval. Part 5. How to break the addiction. Ethan starting doing something uncomfortable. He stopped explaining himself, stopped posting for attention, stopped saying yes when he meant to, stop shaping his personality around people's expression. At first, it felt terrifying. Some people pulled away, some misunderstood him, some called him selfish. But something strange happened. For the first time in his life, He could hear himself think. The noise disappeared, and under all the fear, there was freedom because the strongest people are not fearless. They simply value truth more than approval. Here's how you begin. Stop over explaining yourself. You do not need courtroom defense for every decision. Learn to disappoint people. If you never disappoint others, you are probably abandoning yourself. Spend time alone. Silence revealing who you are. Penance performance. Create without applause. Do things that nobody sees. That building internal validation. Ask yourself one question daily. If nobody judged me, what would I do? The question can change your life. Part 6. The final realization. Months later, Ethan noticed something. He no longer checked his phone every minute. He no longer panicked over criticism. He no longer needed everyone to understand him. From the first time, he felt free, not because the food changed, because he did. And then he realized something most people never understand. Validation is temporary. One day they praise you, next day they forget you. So if you identity depend on people's opinions, your peace will always be unstable. But when your self-worth comes from when no crowd gives it to you and you are not away, that is real power. Maybe your entire life has been one long performance. Maybe you become the version of yourself that was yes to accept, but there's still time to stop promoting, time to stop beginning, time to stop asking the word, am I enough? Because the people who become unstable are the ones who finally realize the moment you stop needing validation in the moment you truly become yourself. If this video spoke to something deep inside you, subscribe to Beyond Rewired because this channel is not about motivation, it's about waking up. And remember, the strongest mind in the room is usually the one that no longer need the room's approval. And thank you.